Blade is just about here, y'all, and we are just 1 week away from him releasing in version 1.2. So today, I figured we'd go ahead and get ready to farm up this character because, again, it's just a short while, and we kind of need the farming materials for Blade, so I want to go over it with y'all. Again, a little early, but it doesn't help to go over the farming and speculate on how to build them. So this is my opinion, strictly my opinion, on how to build Blade. Now, before we get into that, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified of when the next Honkai Star Rail video comes out. And of course, leave a comment. I'd love to hear you guys' opinions. But without any further delay, let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, as you can see here, Blade is a part of the Wind Element and the Destruction path, which is a multi-targeting path. Now, what's really cool about Blade is that he really reminds me of Hu Tao in a sense, which I really like using Hu Tao in Genshin Impact. So we're gonna go ahead and try and go as in depth with him as possible. But let's go ahead and talk about his Ascension first. You're gonna first off need 300,000 credits in total. Credits are so hard to come by right now, I'm losing my mind. I need to build all these characters, and I just can't because I don't have the credits. So make sure you farm up your credits. Now, we have these Immortal Cyanets, we have the Immortal Arrow Blossoms, and the Immortal Lumen Twigs. You're gonna need 5 of these Cyanets, and 3 of those will make an Arrow Blossom. You need 15 Arrow Blossoms with 3 of those, each making a Lumen Twig, which you need 15 Lumen Twigs. Now, these you could get from the Mara-strucken enemies, where you go to the place and you meet Jingyuan and all that other stuff, so bear in mind that's where you're gonna get them. Now, as you can see here, we have this Ascendance Debris. Now, the Ascendance Debris is gonna come from the Stagnant Shadows, and this particular one is going to be called Shape of Rime. You're gonna need a grand total of 65 of these, which you do get around 4 to 5 if you're fully maxed out on being able to get those. So about 4 to 5, you're gonna see a good chunk of time that you're gonna have to put in for it, but not too much, thankfully. So be ready for the grind, but the Ascension grind is the least of your worries. Let's go ahead and talk about these trace materials here. Now, bear in mind, all of this is to level up all of your traces fully. So you might need a little bit less than this if you're not going for a fully leveled up Blade, but just in case you are, this is what you're gonna need. A grand total of 3 million credits, which is insane. You're gonna need 18 of these Shattered Blades, which the Shattered Blade you could get from a certain calc, or red calx, I think it's called, or calyx, whatever you want to say. But yes, there is a certain red calyx that you'll get, that you'll have to face. You can face it 6 times at a time. If you're having 180 Trailblaze power, you're gonna face it 18 times, but you'll need 18 of these Shattered Blades. 3 of these Shattered Blades will make the Lifeless Blade. Now, the Lifeless Blade, you're gonna need 69 giggity in total, which is a lot. But you're gonna need 3 of these to make, where is it? Right here, not the Lumen Twigs. Where are they? Right here, there they are. The World Breaker Blades. You're gonna need a grand total of 139 of these purple World Breaker Blades. That's insane to me. Now, one thing I want to talk about is this little item here. It doesn't say exactly what it is, but this is going to be the boss mat that you're going to need to level up certain talents. Now, this one you get from the new weekly boss that's coming out, but we don't know entirely the name of this material just yet. But you're gonna need a grand total of 12 of those to level up Blade fully. So that's crucial. Now let's talk about these not Lumen Twigs, but the Immortal Cyanet stuff again. You're gonna need a grand total of 41 Immortal Cyanets. This is just for trace materials. You're going to need 56 Arrow Blossoms and 58 of the Lumen Twigs. So it's a lot of grinding in general, especially when you're facing off with the enemies. But if you have the time to fight all the enemies on every map, do it. It's worth your time to get all those materials. And then, of course, you need 8 Tracks of Destiny, which if you don't have a lot of them by now, it's probably because you're ascending a lot of characters. But they do give these out a little bit more than, the Crowns of Insight from Genshin Impact. So, a little bit easier to farm. Overall, The grind is tough in Honkai Star Rail, and I can't wait until they implement some easier ways to grind this stuff, because man, it could get really, really dangerous with this. Now, before we get into how to build Blade here, let's go ahead and talk about his skills, his techniques, and why certain things are extremely important. Let's go ahead and talk about his skill first. Shard Sword basic attack, it's a single target one, deals 130% of Blade's attack as wind damage to a target enemy. So that's your only single attack. Now we get to Helioscape, and this is where we were talking about before that he reminds me of Hu Tao. The skill here is an enhancement skill. Consumes HP equal to 30% of Blade's max HP to enter the Helioscape state. When Helioscape is active, his skill cannot be used. His damage dealt increases by 54%, and his basic attack Shard Sword is enhanced to Forest of Swords for 3 turns. If Blade's current HP is insufficient, his HP will be reduced to 1 when he uses his skill. The skill does not regenerate energy. Using the skill does not end the current turn. So when you use the skill, you get to attack right afterwards, which is really dope. So that's cool. Get ready for that. But let's go ahead and talk about his ultimate, which is a blast. Now, it sets Blade's current HP to 50% of his max HP. So if you're below the threshold, you could use the ultimate to bump up your HP up to that 50%. And deals to a single target wind damage equal to the sum of 48% of his attack, 120% of his max HP, and 120% of the total HP he has lost in the current battle. At the same time, deals wind damage to adjacent targets equal to the sum of 19.2% of his attack, 48% of his max HP, and 48% of the total HP that he's lost in the current battle. The total HP Blade has lost in the current battle is capped at 90% of his max HP. This value will be reset and reaccumulated after his ultimate has been used. So once you use that ultimate, you have to start losing HP again, so be ready. It's crazy how much damage he could chill out just by hurting himself. And the whole point of his skill set is because he's immortal, so he can't die. So that's why it's so cool. But of course he can be down, so be ready for that. His talent here. Shu-Hu's Gift. That scared me for a second, I didn't know what to say. Shu-Hu's Gift. When Blade sustains damage or consumes his HP, he gains 1 stack of charge, stacking up to 5 times. A max of 1 charge attack can be gained every time he is attacked. When charge stack reaches maximum, immediately launches a follow-up attack on all enemies, dealing wind damage equal to 55% of Blade's attack, plus 137.5% of his max HP, and at the same time restores Blade's HP by 25% of his max HP. After the follow-up attack, all charges are consumed. This is pretty dang good for the fact that if you do get hit, you're at least going to be able to do damage back at them and restore some of your HP. Now the technique, Karma Wind. Immediately attacks the enemy after entering combat, consumes 20% of Blade's max HP while dealing wind damage equal to 40% of his max HP to all enemies. If Blade's current HP is insufficient, his HP will be reduced to 1 when this technique is used. That's pretty big because again, you're consuming your HP to do damage, and that works towards your skill here where you're dealing, or sorry, not your skill, your ultimate, where you're consuming your HP to deal more damage later. It's a win-win in this situation, but you gotta be really careful, especially since you don't want Blade to die, or be downed in this case. Now, Forest of Swords is your new basic attack when you go into your Helioscape. Consume HP equal to 10% of Blade's max HP and deals wind damage equal to the sum of 52% of his attack and 130% of his max HP to a single enemy. In addition, deals wind damage equal to the sum of 20.8% of Blade's attack and 52% of the max HP to adjacent targets. If Blade's current HP is insufficient, his HP will be reduced to 1 when using Forest of Swords. Forest of Swords cannot regenerate skill points. So, that's the only thing that you sacrifice, is that you're not gaining skill points afterwards. Really quick, we're going to touch up on Eidolons. Remember that 3 and 5 are just talent upgrades, so we're not going to worry too much about that. Blade cuts the deepest in hell. Blade's ultimate deals additional increased damage to a single enemy target with the increased amount equal to 150% of Blade's total HP loss in the current battle. The total HP Blade has lost in the current battle is capped at 90% of his max HP. The value will be reset and reaccumulated after his ultimate can be used. So you get a big boost to your ultimate, which is cool, but I don't think it's entirely worth it. 10,000 sorrows from one broken dream. When Blade is in the helioscape state, his crit rate is increased by 15%. Not bad, but definitely, in my opinion, not worth. Rejected by death, infected with life. When Blade's current HP drops to 50% or lower of his max HP, increases his max HP by 20%, which means that you can heal and you won't lose too much of your health in the long run. So that's pretty dope. And then, of course, his Eidolon 6, reborn into an empty husk. The maximum number of charge stacks is reduced to 4. The damage of the follow-up attack triggered by Blade's talent additionally increased by 50% of his max HP. That's big because then you only need to be attacked 4 times instead of 5. But again, that's a lot of money to shill out for an Eidolon like that. So let's go ahead and talk about these not Eidolons, but these light cones now. We're gonna go right down here just so that way you can kind of see what I'm looking at. This first one is his 5-star, and I think out of the 5 stars, this is his best one because it is for him. Now, this increases the wearer's crit rate by 18% and increases their max HP by 18%. When the wearer is attacked and consumes their own HP, the damage increases by 24%. The effect is removed after the wearer uses an attack. That's pretty big and is really tailored to, you know, Blade. It makes the most sense for that. So that's pretty dope. I would say is a good one. But if you don't want to summon for the 5-star, you have 2 solid 4-star options. Under the blue sky here, increases the wearer's attack by 16%. When the wearer defeats an enemy, the wearer's crit rate increases by 12% for 3 turns. So with Blade, he's going to be your main DPS, so you're going to be wanting to hit as much as you can. That's why I chose Under the Blue Sky. But if you don't want to do that, you could actually go for this, a Secret Vow. And this one's kind of it works, but I really want to test it before I say that this is the go-to. Increases damage dealt by the wearer by 20%. The wearer also deals an extra 20% of damage to enemies whose current HP percentage is equal to or higher than the wearer's current HP percentage. The reason why I chose this is because most of the time you're going to be under your HP limit of 50% because of how much HP you're distributing out to do more damage. So I think this one could work out really, really well. It's actually one of Arlan's best ones, so I think that this might be a good choice for you. Now let's go ahead and talk about your relics. Now again, this is purely speculation, and if there's a better relic out there or a better relic set, let me know in the comments down below. But first things first, we're going to talk about our 4 pieces. Eagle of Twilight Line is probably a great one for it because again, you're a wind DPS, you want to increase your wind damage. 2-piece right here is increases wind damage by 10%. With the 4-piece, after the wearer uses their ultimate, their action is advanced forward by 25%. This is crucial because after you use your ultimate, you want Blade to be ready to stack up that HP percentage loss so that he can increase his attack and get his ultimate back. So that's why I chose this one as the number 1. But the number 2 would have to be this Longevous Disciple. And the reason why I say that is because it's based off of HP. Increases your max HP by 12% on the 2-piece, followed by the 4-piece. When the wearer is hit or has their HP consumed by an ally, their crit rate increases by 8% for 2 turns and up to 2 stacks. Now, the only thing I want to know is that if this works with him consuming his own HP. So that's going to be up to testing, but this could be his best or second best set right here. But let's go ahead and talk about the 2-piece set that goes on afterwards. Von Walks here, or Sprightly Von Walk, increases the wearer's energy recharge rate by 5%. When the wearer's speed reaches 120 or higher, the wearer's action is advanced forward by 40% immediately upon entering battle. Now, speed is crucial in Honkai Star Rail, so you want to make sure that you have a good amount of it. You could go for Fleet of the Ageless, increases the wearer's max HP by 12%. When the wearer's speed reaches 120% or 120 or higher, all allies' attack is increased by 8%. So not only are you getting a good HP percentage buff, but you're also getting an attack buff, which is really dope. Or you could go for Space Sealing Station, increase the wearer's attack by 12%. When the wearer's speed reaches 120 or higher, the wearer's attack increases by an extra 12%. Now this is good only because of the fact that you're getting a 12% boost followed by another 12% boost of attack. But I would definitely say you could go for the energy regeneration rate, which would work really, really well for Blade, or go for the HP bonus because then you're gonna get an attack bonus anyway. Overall, I think Blade is going to be a really fun DPS. I love DPSs that have this sort of like skill with them where if you lose HP, you get a damage buff. And I think it works out because it brings a lot more diversity to the table, in my personal opinion. Now, if you don't agree, let me know in the comments down below. But Blade should be a lot of fun. I know he did get nerfed a little bit, but it doesn't look like he's going to be a bad choice for a DPS. And y'all, that's going to be it for today's video. Please let me know in the comments down below what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. Would love to hear you guys' opinions on Blade. And are you going to be summoning for him? Let me know. So anyways, guys, that's going to be all for today. Love you all to death. And as always, stay safe out there. We will see you in the next video. Take care.